Good morning and welcome to this week's Tuesday Tune-Up. I'm the Reverend Erica Rosalski and I serve as a transitional deacon for the Samunia clergy team. We are in the middle of National Heritage Month, so today we're going to focus on why that's important. I am not Hispanic, but over half of my family is, including my older sister, my nieces, nephews, my uncle. I come from an interfaith, interracial, interethnic family and have been dealing with people's unjustified characteristics. This is horrible. Okay. Good morning and welcome to this week's Tuesday Tune-Up. I am the Reverend Erica Rosalski and I serve as a transitional deacon for the Samunia clergy team. We're in the middle of National Hispanic Heritage Month, so today we're going to focus on what it is and why it's important. I'm not Hispanic, however, over half of my family is, including my older sister, nieces, nephews, my uncle, my spiritual director, and mi compadre, my daughter's godfather. I was raised in an interfaith, interethnic, interracial family and have dealt with the reality of people's unjustified hatred based on those characteristics my whole life. This is one of the reasons why Hispanic Heritage Month is so important to me. Nationally, Hispanic Heritage Month allows us to recognize the contributions and achievements by Latinos to our national story. According to the Census Bureau, over 19% of the population is Hispanic. There are 13 states with a Hispanic population over 1 million people. And in Nevada, our Hispanic population is almost a third. Hispanic Heritage Month is an opportunity for us to recognize and lift the history, stories, journeys, and achievements of our Latino neighbors. Hispanic Heritage Month began as a week-long observance in 1968 under President Johnson. 20 years later, President Reagan expanded it to be a month-long, beginning September 15th and going through October 15th. September 15th is the Independence Day for Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua. So that's why it was selected. Several other Latin American countries also celebrate their independence during these 30 days as well. Hispanic and Latino are the two most used terms to describe Americans with Latin American and Caribbean ancestry. You may often see these terms used interchangeably, but I understand and use them in a specific way, with Latino describing the diversity of residents in the United States with cultural or ancestral ties to Latin America or the Caribbean. For many, the term Latino also creates room for acknowledging Black, Indigenous, Asian, and other heritages on equal terms with European ancestry. And that's because the term Hispanic is used to signal a connection to Spain or the Spanish language, and many Latinos do not speak Spanish. Representation matters. Latinos and Latinas continue to shape our nation as business owners, activists, artists, clergy, public servants, and so much more. From serving in the U.S. military to being champions in the fight for civil rights, Latinos and Latinas remain strong leaders and change makers in our society. It's crucial to make sure that the contributions of the Latino community are showcased, and that Latinas and Latinos have a strong voice. A recent study found that Latino history is largely left out in high school textbooks that are used in our schools across the United States, and that is despite the increasing percentage of Latina and Latino students. This also comes at a time when the economic output of U.S. Latinos would rank 5th in the world if the community were an independent country. As the U.S. continues to increase in diversity, it's necessary for all citizens to learn more about American Latino experiences and to recognize and to value the many contributions Latinas have made. And now enjoy a short video produced by the National Museum of the American Latino, and have a blessed week.
I think it's really hard to do a description of the Latino community in sort of one sweeping statement.
In and of itself, it's a wonderfully diverse community. And I'm not sure non-Latinos actually realize that.
Pretending that a Mexican is the same thing as an Argentinian is as ludicrous as saying someone from Brooklyn is the same as someone from Texas.
To be a Latino in Argentina, it was one thing. To be a Latino here, it was quite different.
Not all Latinos speak Spanish. Not all Latinos are Catholic. Not all Latinos are brown. Not all Latinos like spicy food, you know?
There are plenty of Latinos that are black, Latinos that are white, Latinos that are trans and queer, and Latinos that are cis and straight. There are Latinos that are Republicans and Democrats, and the point is that there is no one Latino experience.
And any time you try to think of this community as monolithic in some way, you're going to get it wrong.
We're an ethnicity. We're not a race. We actually are all races. That's why when you come across a group of us, you really can't pinpoint what a Latin look actually is.
And yet so similar. At the same time, I know it's complex.
We come from different classes and different statuses. And I think what unites most Latinos is our struggle.
The need to have a strong voice. I think that's what unifies us.
I learned one thing about the Latinos, that they all want their children to succeed.
The thing that really unites all Latinos is a love of family.
What is that thing that makes us one group? Let's keep asking that question.
Everybody contributes to the American story, regardless of what they're doing. That's the nature of the American story, is it is inclusive. That just literally, by existing here at some point, you have contributed to the American story.
Everything that happens in Puerto Rico is also a part of that American story.
We may not have come on the Mayflower, but we were here. And so much of what is America, what we have come to know as American, we created and contributed to.
The American story is a story of people coming from other countries to the United States and bringing everything about the richness of their heritage here and adding it to this whole American story.
Half of the U.S.-born Hispanic population is currently under the age of 19. That really speaks to what the future of the Hispanic population is. It's one that will be driven by its youth, and it's also one whose impact on the United States is still to come.
One of the biggest things that I would say most Latinos, if not all Latinos, have in common is we are resilient. We are incredibly resilient.